Peter King's Football Morning in America is live at ProFootballTalk.com. 10 educated guesses on all of the 2020 offseason quarterback movement. And, folks, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a full-blown game of musical chairs. And, Chris, I still don't know whether when the music stops, there's going to be more butts than seats or more seats than butts. It's going to be nuts. And there are so many guys, unprecedented number of guys available. And, of course, the biggest domino that will fall or stay in place is Tom Brady with the New England Patriots. He is a free agent now as a practical matter because surely his agent, Brady, teams, they're having off-record communications about what in theory would be available if he leaves the Patriots. So, with that said, what we are doing today, we will try to match Brady with specific things we'd like to see him connected to, not just team. We're going to take it a little bit farther than that. We're going to try to be creative. Connections we want to see Tom Brady make in 2020. So, since I haven't received a trivia question, I assume you have a trivia question for me. All right. Go ahead. If I get it right, I get the first pick. I'll get it wrong, you'll get the first pick because, as we know, it's rigged.
Well, as we know, it is. As Tom Brady, he got offered 2 years, 60, or they're reportedly 2 years, $60 million offer that the Oakland Raiders are willing to pay Tom Brady, okay? In lieu of that, all right, which division
Las Vegas.
Does Tom Brady have the worst winning percentage against? Minimum of 5 games. What division does Tom Brady have the worst winning percentage against?
Worst winning percentage against, minimum of 5 games. I'm going to say the NFC South.
Oh, wow. You should have known this. You talk about it all the time. The AFC West. He has issues going to Denver.
I thought that was the obvious one. I thought that one was too easy.
I mean, you love saying that. All those troubles he has in Denver.
I know. Yes. I thought you were setting me up. I went next level because I know he's 0-2 against the Carolina Panthers over the last 8 years.
You're right.
But I thought it was a setup. I thought AFC West was the one you wanted me to say.
Right.
And because he has trouble in Denver. And that's why the idea of him playing for the Las Vegas, not Oakland Raiders, is a little bit kooky because he's got to play Mahomes twice a year and he's got to go to Denver every year.
Yeah, right.
So, All right. You get the first pick then in the draft of Brady connections we want to see next year with anything you want to connect him to. Go.
Well, I mean, Brady and Gruden. I mean, come on, I'm all in. Give me my popcorn, put some butter and salt on it, and I'm all in. I want to watch it. I mean, what? Brady and Gruden? This is where it all began, and now it's where it all could end. Brady and the Tuck rule against the Raiders and Jon Gruden. They reunite and come back, or not reunite, but unite forces. And I just think it would be so fun to watch. I mean, they would definitely be mother effing each other a lot on TV, all right? Just,
would they?
They would.
Would they, though?
I think they would. I don't think John could help it no matter what. Who's his quarterback? I don't think he could help it. And I think Tom will realize, I could talk to this guy like this. This is not Bill Belichick. And I think they would. I think there would be a lot of that going on. I do, yes.
Give me a little flavor of what Jon Gruden would say to Tom Brady on the phone once they have a deal in place.
Hey man, hey, we're this is gonna be awesome, man. I mean, you're gonna love the offense, and hey, I'll do whatever you want to do too, man. You just tell me what you want, we'll figure it out, man. All right, man. Love you, bro. Can't wait to get you out of here, bro. See ya. That was it. That was
so basically
good.
the same stuff he said to Antonio Brown last year.
Pretty much.
And we saw
those
that
are some
out.
of the standard lines. Yes, they are.
Yeah. All right. Well, for me, and I don't think this is going to happen, but when we consider the struggles that Tom Brady had in 2019, yes, he didn't have a lot of weapons to throw to, but the offensive line wasn't very good last year for the Patriots. And it's not going to be much better this year with Dante Scarnecchia retiring. That is a huge factor in that, if he's making remember when Walter White made the list of pros and cons about committing murder in one of the early episodes of Breaking Bad? On the list of cons would be Dante Scarnecchia is gone. So how about Tom Brady with a team that has a great offensive line? How about Tom Brady? And I'm stealing one of your bits here.
I know
Simms.
you are.
Tom Brady and the wall. They're going to build a wall in Indianapolis.
Greatest wall I've ever seen.
You also could say Tom Brady and Frank Reich. I kind of like that, too, when you consider what Frank Reich did against Brady and the Patriots in Super Bowl 52. And I'm fascinated by what Reich would construct to suit Brady, because I think Reich would come up with something that would work very well with Tom Brady. But Brady and the Colts, Brady and the wall.
Right.
It's most likely not going to happen, but man, it would be awesome if it did.
It would be. And just to add to that, the whole conversation there, hey, I mean, that was certainly one of his biggest rivals early on in his career, Colts, Patriots. I mean, when Brady first started in the NFL, they were both in the AFC East, and, of course, all those epic playoff battles. Be very awkward to see him in a Colts uniform, wearing number 12, which Andrew Luck had just previously worn, too. So that would be. I had that on my list as well. All right, well, Brady in New York. I mean, come on. And I'm throwing the Jets and Giants in here together, but I'm just saying New York, because we all know Boston, New York, there's a great sports rivalry there. That would be unbelievable to see one more time. I mean, of course, the New York Yankees are who they are because they stole a Boston sports legend from a desperate owner up in Boston from the Boston Red Sox, and then he came to the Yankees, and Boston was never the same. And of course, all the rivalries, and the New England team losing the undefeated season to the Giants. There's just so many things going back and forth between the two cities. This would just be the latest chapter. I mean, if he came here to the Jets, the team he's basically just whipped the crap out of the last 20 years, and then he came here and took over the team. I mean, again, I know this is not going to happen, but just from pure viewership, storylines, Brady, New York, Boston, all of those things, I think that would be pretty cool.
But which New York team is more compelling to you?
I know. Well,
you can make the argument the Giants are more compelling. I think the Giants are more compelling.
I do. I'm with you. I think the Giants, especially because of the Super Bowl history, Belichick was once there as well. I think all of those things, yes, I would lead me to the Giants being the more compelling one.
And here's the thing about the Jets that we need to keep in mind. Adam Gase, and it's become sport in New York for some in the media to just criticize Adam Gase about anything and everything. Gase has shown over the years that he has the ability to take a player and craft an offense for him on the fly if need be. They had to do it with Tim Tebow when he was in Denver, and all of a sudden they made Tebow the starter, and they had to go find plays from Air Force Academy that they could jam into the offense to try to come up with something that would work for Tebow. Gase, I think, would relish the challenge of coming up with an offense for Tom Brady. And the fundamental difference, someone explained this to me last week, between Brady and Peyton Manning is that Brady will bust his butt to understand the offense, understand his role in it, but he's not going to want to go to the next step and basically be a coach like Peyton Manning.
Yeah, right. It's just different.
He's not going to be as obsessed, but he will throw himself in and learn the offense. And I think Gase would come up with an offense that would work for him if it would be the Jets. All right, next one from me. I'm going to go Tom Brady and Hard Rock Stadium because for his career, Tom Brady has a losing record when playing in Miami. Now, this bubbled up a couple of weeks ago, and Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, said, I don't know why Tom Brady would want to come here because we're rebuilding. But then there was a report after that the Dolphins aren't going to aggressively pursue Tom Brady in free agency. Well, okay, then maybe they're just going to not aggressively pursue him. I mean, if Tom Brady is interested in you, you should be interested in him. And the idea of him reuniting with Brian Flores, long-time assistant at the New England Patriots, in a city where he has struggled, in a stadium where he has struggled, in a division with the Patriots, facing them twice a year, bringing the Patriots to Hard Rock Stadium. Yeah. I kind of like that connection of Brady having 8 games, including one against the Patriots, in a stadium where he's got a losing record over the course of his career.
Yeah, it would be cool. I'm almost I'm just intrigued to see what he would look like in that uniform. To me, it'd be funny to see him in that all together. But yeah, him, Brian Flores, so many. It's
another 12. Yeah, isn't that Bob Greasy's number?
It is. Right? You're right. Another 12.
So if he leaves, there's going to have to be some serious conversations about unretired numbers, retired numbers, officially retired, whatever the case may be. Most franchises have had a great player who's worn the number 12 before. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to say, yeah, Tom, go ahead and take number 12.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's unbelievable, really, the history of that number. When you really break that down, it's amazing just how many great quarterbacks, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks have all worn number 12. It's pretty fascinating that way. All right, I got so many good ones here. I just don't know where to go. I mean, there's the San Francisco thing. There's Cleveland.
Don't do it.
I know. There's Cleveland and OBJ. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to just pick the Bengals just to see
Browns?
Brady and the Bengals.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You'd want to see. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
They're not going to throw Baker Mayfield overboard for Tom Brady.
None of this is realistic. None of this.
I think it's realistic. I think my picks are realistic.
Well, mine aren't. I picked the Jets and the Giants. That's made it unrealistic right off the bat. That's not happening. Yeah. I mean, there's top 6 picks there. And this one's not happening either. But if you just gave me my choice, man, would I love to see Tom Brady be the quarterback of Mike Florio's Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, God.
Oh,
No.
would I love it. Oh, what would you do? You wouldn't know who to blame, who to yell at. You would be in such a conundrum because you'd be like, wait, it's Brady. It's supposed to be great. And what's going on? And then you might have to talk negative about him and do all these things. And then who knows? You might make comments like he's horrible. And then the next week you might say he's better than Patrick Mahomes. You never know where it's going to go when it's the quarterback of your team, the Mike Florio Vikings.
I think we've seen how the Vikings perform with a quarterback who lacks mobility. So I don't need to see that again.
He doesn't want to see that one.
But there would not be an issue with number 12.
No issue with
Minnesota,
12 there. You're right.
12 is not retired. Fran Tarkenton was number 10. All right, last one for me. And I'm glad you left this one on the board because the most fascinating match, the most fascinating combination, for all reasons, is Tom Brady and Jerry Jones. Dallas Cowboys, put him in the silver helmet with the blue star. Ask Roger Staubach, pretty please, can TB12 continue to be TB12 and not TB11 or 10 or whatever? Tom Brady and Jerry Jones. That would be, I'm telling you, when Michael Irvin first floated that, I thought this is ridiculous. And then the more I thought about it, it's like, is it really ridiculous? Is it really ridiculous that a 78-year-old owner who knows he only has a finite number of spins left to try to win another Super Bowl would believe Tom Brady is better right now, gives him a better chance right now this year than Dak Prescott, and you're throwing on top of it that Dak Prescott is driving such a hard bargain? At some point, do you get exasperated with Dak and say, we're going to tag you, we're going to trade you, and we're getting Tom Brady?
Yeah, I mean, I get you. It certainly would be cool to see. I think it's crazy, when I saw those last week too and all that stuff too, I just want to go, yeah, if you're 78 and you want to win a Super Bowl, your best bet is the guy that's at quarterback. Dak Prescott is better than Tom Brady. That's crazy talk right now. That is crazy.
Shereen Williams, who's covered the Cowboys for years and grew up a huge Cowboys fan and wanted to marry Roger Staubach.
Right.
She was on the show last week.
Right.
And I asked her, between Dak and Tom Brady, which guy better positions the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl this year? And she did not hesitate and said Tom Brady.
Oh, Shereen, you're wrong. I'm sorry. I like you, and Tom's amazing, but there's just no way. There's no way. Tom Brady is borderline in the top half of football. I would say I doubt that. Like I told you before the Super Bowl, he's somewhere between 16 and 20 right now. Dak Prescott's definitely one of the 10 best quarterbacks in football and has a bright future. It's only going to continue to go downhill with Brady. So I don't agree with that.
We got to go.
Yep.
We got to go. Sims has Brady and Jon Gruden, Brady in the city of New York, Brady and the Vikings. I've got Brady and the Wall, Brady in Hard Rock Stadium. And what should have been my first pick, but I knew I could sandbag Sims to round 3, Brady and Jerry Jones. Oh, I want me some of that.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.